What is up, guys? Right here in my hands, my new tablet of choice, the ASUS Eee Transformer Prime. Why is it my new pad of choice? Well, this has a quad-core Tegra 3 with a fifth core called the Ninja Core that runs all your background applications. It's the thinnest tablet on the planet. Yes, thinner than the iPad 2, much faster than the iPad 2, 3 times the graphic power when compared to the Tegra 2, and it's beautiful. Let's go in and take a look at the specs, shall we? First off, just looking at the unit, you'll notice that it's extremely sleek, way sleeker than the last generation ASUS Eee Transformer. Also on the back, that's brushed radial spun aluminum. It's just all in all beautiful. There's sort of a purple hue or hint to the tint. There's a purple hint to the tint. Also, this is a 10.1 inch screen, 1280 by 800. And it's a Super IPS Plus display capable of 600 nit. That's really bright. 600 nits, that's a lot of brightness. Also on the front, that is Gorilla Glass, so it's very, very durable. Also, the camera on this, I usually just kind of ignore the cameras on these, but the camera on this one in particular is an 8 megapixel camera, and that's the camera on the back. It's capable of 1080p video as well, but take a look at some of these pictures. It's also capable of getting just a few inches away. It looks beautiful, even from a few inches away. Look at the detail, it's almost macro. Very nice. On the front, if you want to be vain, or if you want to do some chatting through Skype or web video, Google video, something like that, we have a 1.2 megapixel camera right there. Now this device, this comes in 32 or 64 gigabytes plus. There's a micro SD card for further storage. If you also couple this with the base, which is the keyboard dock, you're going to double your battery life up to around 18 hours, which is ridiculous. Plus, you're going to be able to use a full-size SD card. And, as the SD cards get larger and larger, your storage capacity for this device will get larger and larger. The wireless is BG in. There's Bluetooth 2.1 plus EDR. One other thing to note on the device, there's a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. There's also a micro HDMI that will allow you to hook this up to an HD TV and watch full 1080p video. It will decode at 1080p video. It'll even play somewhere between 40 and 60 megabits per second. Will run just fine on this. So you can do beautiful video thanks to the new Tegra 3. Now, let's talk about what's going on with this Ninja Core here. You'll notice that everything is extremely snappy when you're moving around. That's the main thing you're going to immediately notice over the Tegra 2 processors. Just everything seems a little bit snappier. A lot of that is because the fifth core, the Ninja Core, is running in the background just to run all your background tasks. So that really frees up all 4 cores. Now, the software, this one does come with Honeycomb. The new version is not out yet, and I imagine when the new version comes out, we're going to see even bigger differences between the Tegra 3 and the Tegra 2. But I want to show you just some of the differences that or some of the things that ASUS has done differently here with this device. Now, ASUS has given us something called MyZine. Now, what MyZine does is it basically takes everything you need and puts it in one convenient spot. You have a list of your emails that will sync up with your accounts. It'll either do, you can sync it up with Google, but you can also sync it up with IMAP or POP or whatever you want. Also, there's an event calendar here. You have your books there. So that's all there. Beneath that, the weather. Just to the right, whatever web page you are currently browsing, it is stored right there. And one thing I actually didn't like about this, the gigantic MyZine logo, I didn't like that. But thankfully, ASUS allows us to turn that off. Just everything we need in one spot. So that's a very clever thing. The other big difference is down here when you're managing your tasks, you can click on the battery. It shows you the battery power of the unit. There are 3 different modes. There's power saving mode, and what that does is it just doesn't use all the cores, it uses what's needed, and that'll make your battery last a little longer. There's balanced mode, which is sort of a compromise, and that's usually what I would recommend keeping this thing in most of the time. You're not going to need all the power unless you're playing games, and in that case, you can use normal speed mode, which is really the full mode. It takes full advantage of all 4 cores and runs everything at max speed. Beneath that, we have our brightness. There's the orientation button, of course, but the brightness here. You can easily control the brightness using this slider right here on the bottom. And one other thing is an auto button right there. The brightness gets really bright, and if you're outdoors and you're having a hard time reading a book, maybe you're taking this to the beach and you want to read at the beach, well, there's a Super IPS Plus mode. When you click on that, everything gets ridiculously bright. It will drain your battery faster, but it's really nice to have that as an option, and this makes this the brightest screen I've ever seen on a tablet. Since the device runs Android, you can pretty much use any Android program you want. There's tons of apps available here. There's tons more available in the Android store. And then we also have the Tegra Zone, which is NVIDIA's own sort of store, but it's mostly geared toward gaming. And there's tons of different games that you can find right in here that'll work on your device. So take a browse through there. Speaking of gaming, how fast is this thing? Well, there's not really a game out yet that fully takes advantage of the device. But I can show you Shadowgun. I've been running this game on my Tegra 2 device for a while now. Shadowgun is a cover shooter, and the graphics are great, but like I said, they look about the same on my Tegra 2 device, and NVIDIA has been telling us that this device is about 3 times as powerful as far as the graphics go in comparison to Tegra 2. Here's another game, Shine Runner. This one's pretty fun. But one thing that's nice about this, you can use this with a Bluetooth controller. Also, I'm sure there'll be some hacks to be able to use USB controllers and that sort of thing when you're using the dock. This is going to become the new console. That's my prediction, because you can take it anywhere you want. You can hook it up to a TV with the HDMI. It looks beautiful. It's extremely powerful. The graphics are on par, in my opinion, with the early generation Xbox 360 games, and it's only going to get better. So this device has a ton of power and a ton of options. And like I said, I do think this will become a major video game console. At least I hope it will. Okay, one other change I wanted to mention. This is really handy. Normally when you bring up the task manager here, it's very nice and honeycomb. You can scroll through all your open tasks. Well, now, as you can see, there's a little X beside them. So you can actually go ahead and close those tasks. Close the email. You can click on them and just close them right from there. So it's just extremely convenient to be able to shut down the tasks that you're not using. All right, let's take a look at some video sample footage from this. This video footage is basically just me running around town, grabbing things in Miami, videotaping things in Miami. But as you can see, it does support full 1080p, and it looks really nice. So if something crazy happens, you happen to have this with you, you'll be good to go. And of course, this does have the GPS in there. And one thing that's nice about the GPS is that when you take a photograph, you can actually store the location information on the picture. Right here is Google Maps. This is actually navigation. So if you're driving somewhere, you'll be able to navigate where you're going. If you're sitting shotgun, I wouldn't want to use this thing if I was sitting in the driver's seat. You may run into a tree. Nobody wants to run into a tree. So this thing's taking me right now to Pikeville, Kentucky. So to me, this is absolutely the end-all tablet that is currently on the market. This is my favorite tablet, and I hope it's your favorite tablet as well. If you are looking for an ebook reader, this does that. There's tons of different applications out there. Just scroll around through the Android app market. If you're new to Android, I'm not going to really get into everything you can do with this because you can do it with any Android device, Tegra 2 or 3. And I will keep you guys posted as far as the new developments with Tegra 3 games and Tegra 3 specific applications. So there you have it. The thinnest Android tablet on the market, the sleekest Android tablet on the market in my opinion, and my new first choice when it comes to Android tablets, the ASUS Eee Transformer Prime. This thing rocks.